Good music, good music, good music. What's up, family? Welcome, welcome, welcome again, live from the mathematical universe. How y'all feeling, babies? With your brother King Simon, the numerovator himself. Remember, connect and book sessions via the link. That's right, the Linktr.ee/ King Simon, the numerovator. How y'all doing? Make sure y'all share, y'all like, y'all subscribe, y'all share with at least 5 people that understand what metaphysics is all about beyond the physical, but understanding the physics connected to the metaphysics. So I hope y'all are ready for a grand day, a grand show that we have today. We are broadcasting live all over the world, all 196,940,000 square miles of the planet Earth. So I'm ready. I just hope that you're ready because we got a good show happening today. And I want to make sure that everything is running well. Today, we got a tribute to the late, great Dr. Delbert Blair. That's right. Tribute to the late, great Dr. Delbert Blair. It's going to be immaculate. It's going to be beautiful. It's going to be high strung. It's going to be great. I'm telling you, family. So you want to make sure you tell a friend, tell a neighbor, tell all your cousins that we are doing a tribute to Dr. Blair today. Instagram, can you hear me? I don't know if Instagram could hear me. What's up, Instagram? Are you all right? I don't know what's happening with my Instagram. It says it's working. So I hope Instagram is hearing me well. If you can hear me, Instagram, put number ones in the chat. If you can hear me, Instagram, put the number ones in the chat if you can hear me. All right. People in the YouTube land, if you could hear me, put the number 1 in the chat if you could hear me. If you can hear me, put the number 1 in the chat. I don't know what's going on with Instagram right now. I'm trying to make sure that Instagram is running its route. I believe it's working. So let me make sure. I'm not even going to touch it because I understand. So if y'all could hear me, put the number 1 in the chat. How y'all doing? Welcome, 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 welcome to the Mathematical University. Brother King Simon is here. And of course, we're going to do something special today for our dear brother, Dr. Delbert Blair. All right, we're going to do something special today for the late, great Dr. Delbert Blair, whom I've always had the great opportunity of meeting, working with numerous times. So, we're gonna make it happen today. All right, we're going to make it happen today. So, first and foremost, I do want to play one of Dr. Blair's beautiful videos from back in the day. Let's play something from Dr. Blair. Are y'all ready? We're going to play something from Dr. Blair real quick. Here we go. All right, let's do it.
Thoughts are things, and as a man thinketh, so shall he be. Same thing again. If people are holding thoughts of negativity, if they're doing things that are not right and they know it and they continue to do it, you're going to get back what you put in. And consequently, we've got wars going on. We're getting out of Iraq, now going into Afghanistan. But they know why they're going into Afghanistan.
Right.
At the same time, people got adjustable rate mortgages. People are getting thrown out of homes. It's the same thing again, but we can spend money on war. If you begin to concentrate on the negative, to me, you pull the negative. If you try to exude energy into the positive, you get positive.
Right.
And I think it's a time where consciousness will be immediately rectified. What you think, you get back. And I think, again, if we see movies like that, then we're looking for a catastrophe.
Right.
We're looking for a few people being saved, everyone's being sacrificed.
Right.
What is, if you constantly hear negatives, then you're going to get back what you're hearing. You're going to exude what you're taught. Mm-hmm. But I think if we can begin to get not just being a pacifist, but get into the things that are more easily understood. Let's get some harmony going here again. Let's look at the history of some of these countries we're fighting. Let's see what we can do to avert that. So this is why I say I do the research into metaphysics, and that's simply because meta means above and physics means science. It's another way of looking at things from a higher perspective, not doom and gloom necessary, but doom and gloom if you continue to do what you're going to do. Right. By telling you this is what's happening, why then work toward it? This shows you what can happen. Do something to avert it. Mm-hmm. To me, it's for those who are awakening in the spiritual, not for those who are just so concentrated on evil that they're going to let happen what's going to happen. I think enough thought away from it, we can begin to see what may happen. Let's get what may ends. May us get away from that.
I'm sorry. My mic was off for me. I just want to let everybody know I got Janine St. Louis coming in. And now that my mic is back on, forgive me, because I was there doing it while Dr. Blair was on. And on February the 18th, we have the one, the only Adara Moselle coming in. That's right. We got Adara Moselle coming in live and direct. So make sure you support that. And of course, Phil Valentine is doing something big all day. He's rebroadcasting this aristocracy of evil, the Redux. So he's rebroadcasting this. And so make sure you go to his website for that, uksnow.org. And don't forget, we're going to have the great L.A. Wade coming in. Author, superstar, going to be coming in. And she will be speaking about addiction and healing. That's the one that brought Dr. Delbert Blair, not Dr. Delbert Blair, Professor Smalls to Toronto recently. I heard it was a great event. Then I got Aline Bay coming in. Big up to Aline Bay. Yeah, Aline L. Bay will be coming in on February the 25th. That's going to be Off the Hook. Yes, right. Aline Bay, I got his new book too. Man, where's his new book at? I got his new book right here. Hold on. Oh, got his new book. It's a big book. Got his new book, and if you ain't get his new book, make sure you get his new book. It's got his new book, Bring Up to the Stargate, DNA, Human and Extraterrestrial Origin. That's right. It's the new book by Aline Bay and his wife, Khadidra. So big them up together. Oh, man. I love that they are working together, husband and wife, doing what they love to do. And of course, the person that I'm going to be bringing on in the next few minutes is now 5 minutes after the hour. We're going to bring him up at 8:11. Man, he worked with his wife too, but his wife won't be coming on, but it's all right. It's all good. And big up to this professor that's coming into Atlanta, Georgia. Woo! I'm bringing in Professor Small. So tell a friend, tell a neighbor, get your early bird tickets. These are the early bird tickets. It goes up in March and then it goes up in April. So I'm letting you know, you got it. That April 1st is going to go up again. So March is going to go up another price. $10 more, and then it's going to go up another price, $10 more in April. So get your early bird tickets. I mean, you can get these tickets right now through my Linktree/King Simon the Numerovator. That's Linktree/King Simon the Numerovator. And I got them coming for 2 days, but the second day, only 33 people are allowed. I'm keeping it with that master number, 33 at $99. And that's an early bird ticket. So if you got to text me if you're going to do both of them, and then I can negotiate something. Maybe I take off $10 off or something like that. Depends on if you're going to do both days. But I'm only allowing 33 people for this all-day Q&A symposium with Professor James Smalls. Man, so how y'all feeling out there? Make sure y'all like, subscribe, share, do all of that. You know how we get down on this channel. Let me post it up there just in case y'all need a reminder. Please like, subscribe, comment, and share, because sharing is caring. Remember that. Sharing is caring. So if you understand that from a higher level, I'm here to help you out on a higher level too. All right. So I'm going to scroll it on the bottom. I'm going to get rid of this on the top. But get rid of this on the top. In the next couple of minutes, we'll be bringing in the one, the only Jerry Miller, of course. But before we do that, you know, I got to share another link of my dear Dr. Blair. Hold on 1 second. Let me make sure this link is ready to go. No, that's Jerry. Okay, that's Jerry also. And I think, all right, let me see. I got that Dr. Blair link ready to go. Okay, so let me play my Dr. Blair link first. You know what? No. You know what I'm gonna do? No, you're right. I'm going to play Dr. Blair first, because this is a tribute to Dr. Blair, and I want to play that link first. Where is that link? Let me make sure that's the link. No, that's the link. No, that is the link right there. There it goes. All right, so I'm going to play this link right now, and here we go.
Many people feel that things are just speeding by. I think time is speeding up on this planet. Many of you now say, wow, just wake up and it's over again. Remember again when you were believing in Santa Claus? Some people still do. And when you're looking forward to wonderful birthdays and presents, some people who don't, of course, have to give them, they receive them. When all of these things were happening, time couldn't go by fast enough for that birthday or for Christmas to come. But if you're going to prison, if you're going to the gallows, if you're going to travel and do something you don't like, the time, of course, again, gets to be a whole different meaning. Most time is identified by how we think.
And you can speed it up or slow it down almost at will if you can understand three things. You're not the body, you're not physical, you're pure mind energy. Encased in the body for a short period of time to understand what you can do with it. And whatever you carry from this experience or brought into this experience will pretty much bring to light what's going to happen while you're here in transition. The things that are going to go on here, not tonight, but in general on this planet, are not going to be too nice. You already can see that, I hope. But there are many times that within the maelstrom, there is pleasure that can be still gained, especially with love, with kindness, with proper eating, with proper understanding. You pretty much create your own reality daily by daily, and many people don't understand that. We have some creatures, people, consciousnesses who don't like happiness, that want to see things miserable, want to see things bad. So those who want things well, believe in a universal creator, believe that there is goodness and love, should express that at all times. And don't let anything else stop you from doing that, and especially in your own heart. Those who don't, they'll soon be taken care of anyway, because they're now writing themselves out of the pages of the booklet on this planet. You're going to see many deaths, some good, some bad, if death is ever good or bad. Prepare for that. But understand that what happens to others does not necessarily have to happen to you based on your consciousness, your understanding, your education, and more than that, your wisdom to do what you think and know you should do. Not talk about it, you got to do it. Now you got to walk the talk, not talk the walk.
Give that a round of applause to one, the only Delbert Blair. It is now absolutely 1 minute before I bring on my dear friend for a long time, and I want to just bring up something that he spoke about years ago too before I bring him on. And this is when he did it at Nicholas, Brooklyn, back in the day. Let's see, this is back in the day at Nicholas, when this brother spoke at Nicholas, Brooklyn back in the day. I want to welcome on real quick, and let's see what he says.
I'm saying to myself, they won't know it, but that's what you, and you know when you're talking to somebody, what's going on with them because of the level of consciousness or awareness. So what you do, you kind of politely say, well, you have a nice day, because we're not on the same level. And there are those whose level is that maybe the size of a baseball. That's a little bit more easier to deal with. They're the size of a football. Now you're talking, now you're going basketball. Okay, so as you begin to grow, and as you begin to become more aware, as you begin to elevate, as we call it, your level of consciousness will grow and grow and grow.
That sister right here, that sister right here.
Your eyes are.
Hold on 1 second. Let me pause. That sister right there that you see in the camera, the sister that you see in the camera right there on the side, on the right. Would you believe that is Conjure Queen? Conjure Queen is right there. This is where I see, where you see this? This is Conjure Queen right here back in the day with us in the front row, learning from one of these great masters. So without any further ado, it is now time to bring on one of my brothers, and one of my brothers from another mama. You know what I'm saying? One of my brothers from another mother. And he's a good brother for many years. I've known him since the 1980s, mid-1980s, when I was a studying Muslim in the Ansar Allah community back in the day. He was one of the imams back in the day, one of the teachers. They used to call him Brother Ali or Abdul Ali or Ali, Elder Ali back in the day. But this brother is a fabulous teacher, excellent scholar as far as dealing with metaphysics and also going into history, religious history and all that. Without any further ado, let's welcome right here on the platform of King Simon Presents Only Quality People, the one, the only, Jerry Miller in the building. What's up, Jerry?
Namaste, namaste.
Namaste. If I can stay, I will namaste.
That's what you do. That's what you do. That's it.
How you
Don't
been,
fight
brother?
the feeling.
How you
Man,
been?
all is well. All is well here in Sedona. That's where we at.
That's right. You're in Sedona, Arizona. Beautiful spot. I climbed the Bell Rock Mountain when I was out there. Wow, beautiful spot, bro.
Yeah,
beautiful area.
It is. It's very lovely and very, very peaceful, very energetic. A lot of things are going on out here that are bringing about a lot of changes. Things are happening, and the people here are experiencing the change, and they see it. It's like when you go back to when they say a shift, more like a shift, and a lot of people here are waking up. Yeah. A lot of people here are waking up and they're starting to see things for what they really are, and hopefully on the planet things are happening where a lot of people are waking up. It's like when I remember when Bobby Hemmett spoke about the Egyptians, and they said that there's three types of people. You had the conscious people, the intelligent people, and the automatons. And that's what we are dealing with now, are a bunch of automatons. And an automaton is someone who is mindless. They have no mind until someone puts something into them and makes them programmed. And what has happened to a lot of people, they are being programmed, and they have changed in the sense where they are becoming more violent. They're becoming more agitated. When you go back to that movie with Cell,
yes,
remember the movie Cell?
Yeah, I remember that.
Right. That's what's going on now. Is that they are sending out these frequencies, these signals. Back a couple of years ago, it was the 5G. Yes. Well, they're already working on 6G, and they're going to be bringing that out. They already got it out, but they won't tell you until they bring it out because it's already been out. And that's going to really have an effect on people. And you'll see that everybody is stuck on their cell phones. Now, we have cell phone blockers we put on our phones to block the frequencies and the energy is coming from the phone that doesn't have an effect on you. But a lot of people out there don't realize that they are being affected by this cell phone and the other things through the television and other means of communication that they're putting out. And people are being programmed to become violent. When you go back to the beginning of COVID, you see how it started. When they showed you pictures of people fighting over toilet paper, that was the key. How would you go to start fight over toilet paper? I mean, you ain't fighting over no food, you ain't fighting over no money, you ain't fighting over no gold or silver, you fighting over shit paper. So what does that tell you how people's mindset is? The mindset has really, really shifted. That you feel that this stuff is so important that you got to have it more so than anything else. And that was just the beginning of it. And then as you go along, you see where people are fighting over all kinds of little stupid things, stupid stuff. Stupid stuff. And you'll see more of it going on. This is just the beginning, but you're gonna see more. There's gonna be more coming on around June and July. You're gonna see some real weird shit happening. Real weird.
And let me say something, Brother Jerry. Thank you very much for starting it off just like that. Family, please do remember to support our Baba. He is not only an elder, metaphysics teacher, and Orgone energy teacher. You can contact Jerry and his wife via Instagram at JerryMiller940 and Sandra at Sandra Fraser 777. And do remember, they do have Cashapp and PayPal. If you want to spend that Cashapp love, that's $JOCS 1234, and then PayPal, and you could email them via that if you're not sending PayPal, you could also email them at the email that's on the board, and send it friends and family. And don't forget, they do have a Facebook also. He has a Facebook and she has a Facebook, but you can hit them up on the Facebook that's also planted right here on the front. Jerry, you and I go back way back into time.
Yes.
Old radio jocks. Way back in the time.
It's been a minute.
It's really been a minute, and a lot of people don't know how long we go back into this quote unquote movement of what they dub conscious community. But I changed it to conscientious community, because when we was in the conscientious community of that time, we was striving to do what is right. The conscious community right now, like I said, that word consciousness only means something that is aware of their surroundings. And like I said to Dr. Phil Valentine when I had him on, a rat is aware of surroundings, so is a cockroach. So I'm not part of that conscious community. I want to be conscientious in what I'm doing in my community. So conscientious meaning
observant,
meaning doing what's right, doing what's good. So let's go back into time, Jerry, because you was not always into metaphysics. We was into metaphysics from a religious perspective because we was all part of the Sufi order. That was one of the very good orders that took me to another level. What started you on this journey? I remember you telling me you was in the Jehovah's Witness at one time, right? Correct?
No. What happened was this. Going back years before I got into the mosque and Ansar Allah community. Yeah. What I was doing, I was going to a place called Hawthorne Gospel Seminary.
Okay.
And I was studying to become a preacher. And what they taught us at the seminary is this thing here. They said there are things you're going to learn here that you cannot tell the people out there because they're not going to be able to understand this stuff. They're not going to be able to process this stuff. And so you have to be careful of what you say to them, because of what they've been told over the years is this is not going to work. So this is what you tell them. So a lot of people out there today, and that's what got me started. And so in doing that pursuit, I happened to switch over from being a Christian to becoming a Muslim. And to tell you what happened was that I was in Newark, New Jersey. I was working, and Brother Wadud, you remember Wadud old? You remember Brother Wadud?
Of course.
Yeah. Anyway, before I came in, he was talking to me. And what happened was that we were standing outside the bank in Newark, New Jersey. And then all of a sudden, these cop cars came up and the cops had the guns out. And these guys came out with guns in the bank. And I was scared out of my mind. And he said to me, don't worry about it, brother. Stay right here. Allah is going to protect us. We are safe. They don't see us. And I mean, it was as if we weren't there. Right, we were like invisible. Right. And that, I said, this is for real. And then I was transferred over into becoming Muslim and Islam. Right. And I was there for a lot of years in the Ansar Allah community. And in being there, I was fortunate enough to be able to teach what's called newcomers class. I did a lot of studying, a lot of things that I learned through that. And I give credit for all what was going on, the good parts of it. And it was really a experience that I will never forget. And it's part of who I am now. But as you move in life, you begin to make another transition into another part of, you begin to grow, because it's about growing. And so what I did was I left out of that and went into the metaphysical world. And going there, that opened me up to a whole nother thing on dealing with religion, dealing with the Bible, dealing with all of those different things that is being taught and people are being misinformed. And we can go into maybe a little bit of that later on, but that's how I got my start into the metaphysical thing. Right, and
Jerry, hold on, Jerry, 1 second before you stop, because you just went through a whole lot of stuff and you ain't stopped yet. because I know your history is vast when it comes to this, but would you say that the person that was running that community at one time was trying to also introduce us to the metaphysics from another level?
I would say, yeah, because of the fact that the Islam that we were being taught was not on the level of others that were being taught Islam, because he was taking us to a higher level of awareness, of conscientiousness, you want to call it that, where the way that we were taught to understand was different than for everybody else. That's why when the people saw us, they didn't see us as being, they said, well, who are you guys? Because we had knowledge of all of the doctrines. We had the Christian knowledge, we had the Sunni knowledge, we had the Sufi knowledge, we had the all the metaphysical stuff that was given to us. And that really began before things got twisted. I'll use that terminology. Before things got twisted, we were heading in a direction that if it had stayed where it was supposed to, we would have been out of here by now.
Yes, yes, yes.
We would have elevated to the next level, like all of the great, what you call them, civilizations, where they go to, like when you look at the Egyptians, right, and people in Peru and Machu Picchu, all these different places where they find all these monuments, these structures that were built, and there's nobody there that knows how they were built, who built them, and what happened to those people that did those things. There's no record of that. And the one thing about the pyramids, anything that's built, the one thing that you have to have is you have to have a blueprint.
Yes.
You just can't build a pyramid and say, I'm gonna build a pyramid. You have to have something somewhere where somebody has the idea and have to put it down for those to see just exactly how to do it, to make it happen. And there's none of that. There's none of those people that exist. Those people over there in Egypt are not the original Egyptians. They're not.
That's right. And you don't give that a round of applause, because family, that's why I want y'all to follow Jerry and support Jerry in whatever he's doing, him and his wife, because they are excellent, and people that remember them in Georgia and in New York and doing certain things that they did to help the community move forward. Whether community we used to live in from back in the Ansar Allah, the tents of Kedar back in the day, a lot of us left before it turned into Nuwapian and all that kind of stuff. So I was gone before that, early, about 88. But, you know, what I do really respect about what Imam Isa did, or what they call Dr. York today, what I respect about what he did, he had us to want to think and always do our research, especially through language, and showing us that language was very important and tones was very important. And going back, you know, and that helped me a lot, especially when I went into the Sufi order, which I'm still a card carrier member, to tell you the truth. Still got the card. I still got a card from back in 85. I still got the card with my name, Shadi Abdel Muhammad, on it. And you know, the Sufi order opened me up to more of the metaphysics side, more than just praying in Islam. But there was times when we was in prayer, making salat, doing one of those fajr, one of those Laylatul Qadri, where you could feel the place move without, like we was chanting and moving together with just the children chanting the Quran. And that is one of the most appealing things. That I have to ask you this question: what went wrong? What went wrong?
No, that's a good question, and it's a hard question to answer, because from the outside looking in, right, it looked like it was really, really happening. But then again, that there's an old expression that says, "Absolute power corrupts absolutely."
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And that we look around, a lot of these great, we call them leaders and teachers, that happens to them is that they get that dose of power, that feeling like, you know, I'm invincible. You can't touch me. I can do whatever the hell I want to do, and there's no consequences. Because we were always taught that he had already been judged, so he can do whatever he wanted to do because he's not going to be judged. Mm-hmm. That was part of what we were taught at that time. Mm-hmm. So to see what happened to it, like I said, before it became the Nuwabian or Nuwapian, whatever name they have it now, right, when I left too long before that. I was not part of that organization. But the thing is that, as a matter of fact, to this day, I have about 25 or 30 books from that time.
Me too.
That we were taught from the information, because that's something that you can't get rid of, because the stuff that was in there can't be touched.
Yes.
It cannot be touched by anyone. Mm-hmm. And so I go back every now and then and I look at those and I read them. And as a matter of fact, he gifted me one of these sacred tablets, one of those books.
Yes.
You know, right. He mailed one to me. I didn't even know it was coming.
I have
mailed one to me and my wife, and he inscribed in it.
Wow.
He wrote in it. But he appreciated me for doing what I did, and I mean a lot of good stuff in there. He said to me about it, and I felt that was sincere and honest, and I appreciated that. But the thing was to see where it went, for what it was, the building that we had there on Bushwick Avenue. Yes, I remember there was a time when what's his name from the reporter? What's his name? Oh shucks!
From
did an interview with him.
Oh, you mean the reporter that came to report about the community back in the day?
Yeah, the guy, he had a TV show.
Well, Gil Noble.
Yeah, Gil Noble.
Gil
Noble came there.
Came down there.
And Jimmy Breslin from the Post, New York Times came there.
Yep.
A lot of people came there because they couldn't believe what we were doing in there in Brooklyn. And the chief of police, I remember he and I had a conversation many times. And he said that because of what we were doing there, he got promoted to being captain because it was a very low crime area. There wasn't no crime, nothing going on. So they all looked good. And so they came to us and they would tell us these things. And it was a lot of good that was being done. But when things started to mess up, that's when you had to say something's not right here. So it's time to go. And I will never backbite. I will never back talk, slander, anything, because of the fact that I know what I know. What happened after I left, I can't speak on because I don't know.
That's exactly what I told a few brothers and sisters. I said, after I left in '88, I don't know what else happened after that. That was my time, and that was gone. But it did bring tears to my eyes. A lot of things because the brother was flamboyant. He was very charismatic. He knew he had his research team. He had his thing to go out there and get the information, put it in his pamphlets, and make us believe. Made us believe. You know what I'm saying? He made us believe. And to this day, I had a dream about Yadalahi. And I don't know if you remember how close I was with Yadalahi back in the day. They thought me and him was brothers at one time, and I remember, and I was telling people that Yadalahi came back, and Doc, his father came back and gave him those tiger shoes, those tiger leopard shoes, and he let me wear the leopard shoes around the community. And he was because Yadalahi was such a giving and loving person. So
he was innocent.
Yes, he was so innocent. We was just young in those days, and he gave me the shoes, and he just went. And although the shoes were smaller than my feet, I fit my feet in there because I would put my feet in the mom's shoes. I'm like, and I remember that, and I recall when Imam seen me walking with him around the community. He said, "Are those shoes that I gave you? Man, go get my shoes. I gave them to you." But I understood that because he did bring it back from those parts of the land and brought it back to him. But Yadalahi, I dreamt about Yadalahi, and him and I spoke in the dream. And I want to get into that because that's metaphysical when people start having dreams of certain people. And I've dreamt about him a few times. And he let me know he was all right. And he forgive me for whatever argument I had with him back in the day, because I remember working in the pizza parlor and he wanted to skip the line. And I said, brother, you got to let me finish this and I got you. But he was rushing to go somewhere and he got angry with me. And that's when we kind of broke off. And he let me know that he forgive me for that, because he understand it was a business, but you just don't jump. I'm there working, doing what I got to do for this restaurant, know. But and sometimes the children didn't understand that. The children around there, I'm their father's child. When they started getting their head a little big, especially after they came back from Egypt and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, it got a little, but I'm still staying connected, and he was still a good brother to me. I still went to a funeral. I still talk to Yaqub. I still talk to Ish when I get to talk to him. Father Law, when I see him, I'll talk to them. So those are the guys that are the older echelons. Even guess who called me from Germany?
Who?
Fatima.
From Fatima?
For his twin, twin called me from Germany, and it was so. And she said she had a dream about me promoting and producing, and I said, yeah, that's what I do. And her and I was close when she had her hair salon. But with Dr. Blair, get into Dr. Blair and his teachings, because metaphysics is something that you have gotten into over the years and have become so very astute at it. He said, there was a quote that Dr. Blair used to say, and I put it on here for a reason. I put it on this flyer for a reason, and it's right there. It says, there is no truth until you decide what truth is. Now, from your perspective and your respect, what do you feel does that mean from your perspective, Brother Terry?
The thing, when you say the word truth, okay, what is truth? Yeah. Again, your perception is your truth. Until you change the perception, then you change the truth. Because but the one thing that I was always taught with the truth,
right?
The truth stands on its own. The truth is based on facts and figures. Okay, I remember that when the Imam taught about the truth, he says that the truth never really changes. It's what's said about the truth that changes. That people think when you say, for instance, many years ago, what was taught, Columbus discovered America.
Right.
That was the truth as far as, and some people went and lived and died believing that, not knowing that wasn't the truth, but that was a truth according to how it was presented, how it was given. But then again, we have to look at all truth. When it was said in the Bible, you shall know the truth, and the truth will set you free. That means now that everything is open for you. You follow? The information that's out there now that wasn't out there before is available. You can prove things that were once fallacies. You can show things that were once fallacies. Now, you can have 99% truth and 1% falsehood, and you still don't have the truth. You don't have the truth. The truth has to be complete. There's like a story, like someone told me years ago, where truth was coming to this town for these people. And as truth was coming to the town, truth was all dusty and looking all kind of rough. So truth took off his clothes and went into the stream and tried to clean himself up before he went into town. But right behind truth was lie. And lie saw truth's clothes and put them on and went into the town. And people looked up and said, oh, look, here comes the truth. Here comes the truth. And people gathered around this person, and he's there, and people saying, this is the truth, this is the truth. And in the crowd was this old lady. And this old lady walked up to him and said, you know, she said, I know the truth. She said, now you look like the truth. And you sound like the truth. But I know you're not the truth because I'm looking down the road and I see coming the naked truth. Okay, that's what you want. There are things that are like in belief systems, right? In all religions have. I don't care which one it is, and it's all based upon a belief. It's based on what you choose to believe. Not what you know.
That's right.
What you believe. That's why when you have over 30,000 and more different Christian denominations, 30,000 plus. You have countless denominations in Islam, in Judaism, in Buddhism, everything, because all of these belief systems that they have in common just believing. That's all it is. And the thing is, like when you pick up what you call a Bible, it's open to interpretation. Every writing that you have, I don't care whether it's the Quran, whether it's the Bhagavad Gita, whether it's the Bible, those books are all left open to interpretation, depending upon how the reader sees what they see in it, and they take out of it what suits them and forms their belief system. That's how they all do, and they all cherry pick. Everybody cherry picks from their belief system. Everybody does it, especially now because the thing with the good thing going on now over there in the Middle East, as they call it, with Israel and Hamas, those type of things. There are now these people saying that this is a sign of the end and Jesus is coming back again, and you better repent because he's coming soon. I hear this every day. I see people pumping through my, and when I question them on it, they get offended because I'm asking them things they can't deal with. Because what I ask them is this one question: what is the end game of the return of Jesus? What's the end game? The final thing. They don't know. Because if they would read their Bible, it tells you that upon the return of Jesus, what he's going to do, according to what the Bible says, he's going to come back to earth and set up his kingdom on earth forever. You ain't going to be in heaven anywhere as they think they are. And it's going to be there for 1,000 years. It's going to be ruled by the 12 tribes of Israel. Mm-hmm. And after the 1,000 years, the devil who was locked up is going to be loosened. And then they're going to have the battle of what they call Armageddon. That's coming. Okay. But the average Christian has no knowledge of that. They think that everybody dies and goes to heaven and that's it. But your Bible tells you that you're not going to be all going to heaven. Some of you, or if not all of you, are going to come back to earth and be with Jesus. But that's the end game. And once Jesus comes back to earth, that's going to be forever. So don't think you're going to go to heaven, but they don't teach that because that's only found in the book of Revelation. And they don't go into Revelation. Right. They don't know that. They don't talk about the 144,000. They don't talk about the 7 angels, the 7 woes, the 7 spirits of God, the 4 horsemen. They don't talk about none of these things because, and the one thing they like talking about is the mark of the beast. Right. And they have no knowledge of that because when you read it, it says that he calls us all, both rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in the right hand and the forehead, and you won't be able to buy or sell. Now, the thing is this, is that going to be for the entire world that everybody's going to get the mark? All 8 billion people are going to receive the mark? Or is it something different? And when you do studying on it, when it says the mark of the beast, and it says here's wisdom, let him who has understanding count the number of the beast because it's the number of a man. Mm-hmm. The number is 666. Mm-hmm. Now, there are some writers in other Bibles say the number is 616. Then there are other writers in other Bibles that says the number is 6. They're emphasizing, no, it's 6. It's 6. It's 6. It's not 666. It's 6 individual, not that whole number. It's not talking about that. So it also says that the beast who is a man and those who also have to worship the image of the beast of this man that's supposedly coming. You know, all these things are part of what's in the Bible that you don't teach because that would cause too much controversy. I had one person almost cuss me out when I said that there's nowhere in the Bible where it says that heaven has pearly gates. And they were so upset with me. And they sent me a verse, Revelation 21:21. And I said, you evidently didn't read that because it says that is the new Jerusalem coming down out of heaven. It's a giant cube. It's square, giant cube. And on all 4 sides, there are 3 gates of pearl. That's the only place where you find gates of pearl in the Bible. There's nowhere else. Nowhere else does it teach about heaven having pearly gates. If someone says that shit, I know that they don't know. They're making it up. They're making that shit up, and they have no idea what they're talking about. You go back to the beginning where it says in the beginning, God, that word there is God's, Elohim, more than one, created the heaven and the earth. Everyone says, we created the heavens and the earth. It doesn't say that. It says the heaven and the earth. And all along then, God did that. Every one of those words is saying God's. When it gets down to verse 27, and it says, and God said, no, it really should read, and the gods said, let us make man in our image, after our likeness. Right. Who's that speaking? Who they talking to? But they say, well, that's the Trinity. That's God, Jesus, and Holy Spirit. Okay, fine. So if that's the case, in whose image? Because if God is a spirit, and the Holy Spirit is a spirit, and the person you call Jesus, whose name wasn't Jesus at the time, what did he look like? And in whose image was it? Was it an image of a Caucasian? Was it an image of an Asian person? Was it an image of a man of color? Who was this image and what this person looked like for this period of time when its creation took place? They don't know. They are totally blind as to what's being taught, and they're only being taught just enough for them to follow these men, because the first thing Jesus said to them, let no man deceive you, because many is going to come in my name, call themselves Christ, and they're going to show you great signs and wonders, do all kinds of stuff to fool you, to deceive you. And a lot of them are being, like, you look at what's going on with T.D. Jakes, that's just the beginning. That's the beginning. There's going to be others that's going to fall just like him. They're going to come. Hold on one second,
Jerry. Family, We got Brother Jerry Miller, the elder, of course, Orgone energy teacher, metaphysics teacher, and you can contact them via IG at Jerry Miller, him and his wife at Jerry Miller 940 or at Sandra Fraser 777. And do remember, they do have Cashapp love. You can spread to them right now. Cashapp, spread love, bop, spread love. That's $JCOCS123 and PayPal, or email him. But the PayPal email is JAES123 at yahoo.com. Make sure you send via friends and family, and you make sure you follow them on Facebook also at Jerry Miller 940 or Sandra Fraser on that. Now, Jerry, a lot is going on in this day and time. A lot of people are now seeing what we call the identified flying objects. Honorable Elijah Muhammad talked about the back in the day. Billy Carson is talking about it. Y'all have talked about the we back in the day, and I want to make sure we, and Doc and Imam used to talk about the flying saucers and different and all that type of stuff back in the day when he started exhibiting that type of stuff. What do you and your wife feel about it? Because y'all usually say we, and what does we represent when your wife and you speak about this we that y'all channel sometimes?
What we is, who we is really is a entity that comes through us and tells us things and gives us information on a higher level. And over the years that they have shown us and taught us things, and when it comes down to the so-called identified flying objects or unidentified flying, whatever name you want to give it now, they change it up, is that these are beings that come from other realms, rather than I say God, other realms of existence, because there are vortexes that open that they come through. Okay, now there are those who, let's go with this part of it. There are those who say they don't exist. There's no such thing as these things. Blah 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 blah. Okay, fine. I say okay, that's great. Now, before, let's go back. Let's say 200 years.
Right.
There were people that were reporting things up in the sky, flying around, and it wasn't a bird, and it wasn't a plane, and it wasn't Superman.
No, it wasn't.
Okay. So what were those things? Because throughout the annals of history, before you had airplanes, anything that was known to fly was birds and insects. Those were the only things that were known to fly and occupy the air. So when you have something else, like even in your Bible, when it speaks of the wheel, Ezekiel's wheel, and what it is, it's interesting. In the Hebrew, that word wheel is Merkaba or Merkaba, which is a sacred geometry symbol. They also call it a chariot. That's the word they give it in the Bible, but is the Merkaba, which we have on our page. We have these symbols, and what those are, that's if you ever saw the Da Vinci symbol of the man with the 4 arms and the 4 legs, that represents the Merkaba, which is once you get to a certain level, you're able to energize your body that's going to take you out of here in that ship. Let's say that word. And what it is that the faster that you can vibrate, the less dense you become, and you will be able to transfer or go to the other, let's say, dimensions. It's like when you see on Star Trek, when they beam them out, all they're doing is they're energizing the molecular structure, and they're making the speed up so fast that it's displaced out into the cosmos, okay, and then brought back in a solidified form on the planet. And that's what we at one time were trying to teach people how to do. Then once you let go of the things of this world and the attachments, the less dense you become, because that's what happened to the Anasazi. That's what happened to the ancient Egyptians. That's what happened to those people in Machu Picchu. That's what happened to people down there in Mexico. All of these monuments you see that are built, these great structures, but the technology that existed way back then, they can't even duplicate it now. These people were on a higher level of intellect, metaphysically, and they were able to let's say, beam themselves out of here because they found it no longer necessary to be here because they came and accomplished what they had to accomplish and they left. And this goes right into what we call about the Orgonite energy. What that does is the same thing. When you're dealing with Orgone energy, you're dealing with a universal energy. Now, there are other people that make Orgone products, and I'm not going to knock them, but I know about mine. I stand behind mine. I can guarantee you that mine are superior. And what we're doing with our product now is because of the fact that one of my suppliers that supplies me with shungite, which is very, very powerful, shungite is only found on one place on this planet, and that's in Russia. That's the only place in the world you're going to see or hear about shungite, nowhere else. And what's happened is when I used to order it, it used to take about 2-3 months to get here from Russia. Now it's taking longer, and my supplier says that I better stock up because it's going to be eventually, it won't be none coming out of there. And so because 6G is coming, what we're doing with our products, we are now putting more shungite in the product and more black tourmaline in the product for the protection, because when you research black tourmaline and shungite together, it is so powerful, you couldn't believe the stuff that it does. Also, we are putting in our pieces, especially our pyramids, the magnets, the magnetic energy that's in there as well. So we're doing that to enhance the ability of the Orgone and the Orgonite to be able to withstand anything that they got coming at you that's going to bombard you. Because I have the Orgonite, I have them in my car, I have them all around the house. When I was living in Georgia, what I did was that I put one under the meter outside, the light meter outside, and I had it out there. And what happened is that the power company came and they said something's wrong. What's wrong? He said that the meter isn't acting right. Something's wrong. It's not giving us the signal. And what happened is that they couldn't figure out what was wrong. They came on, they tested it. What they didn't know is what I did was under the ground, underneath of the meter, I buried a pyramid. And burying the pyramid, it had an effect upon the meter where it was one of those smart meters that they had. And what it did was that it blocked the energy of the meter to send back to the company. And they couldn't figure it out. They kept coming out with, they had their instruments out, they're testing this and they're testing that. They couldn't figure it out. And they said, what's wrong? I said, I don't know. I wasn't going to tell them. But that's how it worked there back at that time at the house. So what we do is that Sandra and I, we're working on creating a different type of Orgone energies now, because we can foresee what's going to be coming. And I tell people this, you better get it while the getting is good, because the day will come, must come and shall come. We're going to say, we can't give you any more because we can't get the shungite. And don't be fooled with the shungite, because what they do is that they sell people coal and tell people that it's shungite. So what I do is that I showed a video where I took the shungite and on a flashlight, and I took out the back of the flashlight and put the shungite on back of where the battery pack was, and it lit up. So that told me that I got the real deal. But there are those people out there who will sell you shit and tell you that it's shungite and it's not. So you have to be mindful of who you're dealing with. And the time period that we're living in is a time period where people have to begin to start to raise their energy level to the point where they can separate. And that's why it says in the Bible, it says, like, separate yourself from the people of this planet. Don't partake of this stuff that they're doing. And one of the big things that they have are the distractions. Distraction is the key. If you go back in time, if you just go back when we talk about unidentified flying objects, go back a couple of months ago, what happened? For about maybe a week or two, they were saying that there were these objects that were flying up in the sky. They didn't know what they were. One of them was supposedly a Chinese spy balloon, which they shot down. But these other things that were flying around up there that they supposedly shot down, that was it. You never heard nothing else about them after that. They never had another word saying what they were, where they took them, or whatever had happened to them. They're not telling you because they want to keep you in a certain state. And also, don't believe everything that comes on when they say they're going to tell you about these UFOs. When you go to the History Channel or the Discovery Channel, and they're going to tell you all about the UFOs and aliens and shit, don't buy it. Don't buy a lot of it, because when you look at some of the statues and things, especially in Egypt, and also you have the Olmec, you see them. You look at one of those Olmec statues, you know that ain't no Caucasian. You know that's no Caucasian. And he's been in Egypt. When you get all the statue with the nose broken off, what does that tell you? The nose is a very distinct figure on people. So you can look at a person's nose and tell if they are a Caucasian or if they are a person of color or whatever ethnology that they are. So they try to, not they try to, they do knock the noses off to keep people in a state of, I say, lost, because they don't want you to know. You know, another thing too about what they call this so-called Black History Month, I don't say Black History Month, I say our History Month. Let us tell the story, because all you hear this entire month is about people from slavery. They tell you everybody about the slaves, and and then those are some things people might want to hear, but you don't hear about Nat Turner, Denmark Vesey, Toussaint Louverture, Marcus Garvey, Noble Drew Ali, Malcolm X, Honorable Elijah Muhammad. You don't hear, and then going back to J.A. Rogers, the world's great men of color. They only keep you locked into this mindset of what's happening here for people of color, but there are things that people of color who were great beyond this that go throughout the planet, different places, but they won't tell you about them, because that will wake up in you a certain thing, certain mindset, saying, wait a minute, you mean to tell me that before they were slaves, there were people who built those pyramids, who built these monuments, who had this whole world, this whole planet? Because of the Caucasian. And another thing is that I don't call him the white man anymore, because what the word white represents pure, clean, nice, everything nice. And I don't say black anymore, describing myself. I'm not a black man. I'm really a brown-skinned man. But as far as ethnology, I'm a universal galactic being. So whenever I fill out paperwork, when it says like your race, and when it says other, I check other. And then I write in universal galactic being. And that blows their mind. They say, what the heck is that? That's what I am. I'm not a black man. I'm not black because everything black denotes something negative. That's the whole purpose of it. To say that you're this. And the thing is how I choose to identify myself, not how you choose to identify me. You can't identify me. You can't tell me what I am. I'll tell you who and what I am, not what you want me to be. And that's part of the technology that's used this day and time. But like I said, going back to these preachers and these false teachers, you're going to see quite a few of them this year are going to have a very, very rough time, because all this stuff's going to be exposed. Can't hear you. Can't hear you.
I was showing your IG.
Oh, okay.
I was showing the IG in the background and all the stuff that you make and all that kind of stuff. People want to know, how can people contact you to buy the stuff? Can they go to the IG page, Jerry Miller 941, or you got a number that people can call, or what you got?
No, they can go to the IG page and screenshot whatever interests them, and right. I'll get back with them and give them the details on whatever it is, however it is, and they can ask any question that they want about anything that they want. I'm open to questions. I don't duck questions. I was always taught by the Imam. My mom said, never duck a question. And the one thing he always taught me, he said, when someone asks you a question and you don't know the answer, say, I don't know.
That's right. Say,
I don't know. That's because of the fact that if you try to answer it and give up some old okie doke answer, somebody's going to make a fool out of you. So it's always best to say, well, I don't know, and leave it at that. I'm not going to try to answer any questions that I don't know, and that's what I do.
Exactly. And that's the school I come from. If I don't, I'm willing to go study and research like we was taught to go research and dig and keep on
That's
digging.
right.
Ask other people who may know, and then go and cross-reference that. Go cross-reference that. You know how we do. That's why I'm still, you know. But before we finish, I want to make sure that if you have any questions in the chat, family, more than welcome to put any questions in the chat that I can share with Brother Jerry. No, this is not a call-in show. This is not y'all coming up on the videos. He hasn't done this in a long. He has never done this with me. We usually do it over the phone with him. He done this on IG. Yeah, he did it on IG a couple of years with together. But this time, this is the first time he came on YouTube face to face, right on the camera, first time. So get that a round of applause. So I'm honored. Yes. And, Jerry, one of the questions I would like to ask is if there is reincarnation, are we going to reincarnate into dogs, cat, or human, consistently human energy?
Well, the thing is this, when you say reincarnate,
right,
that means to come back. Now, you're at the point now where if you're high enough, you can choose not to come back. You don't have to come back. And for those people who want to say they come back as dogs, cats, rats, and everything else, that I don't take part in. I'm not coming back here as no cat. I ain't coming back as nobody's pet or anybody's chicken where you can cut me up and eat me. I'm not coming back as that. The thing is that it tells you, even in the Bible, it talks about reincarnation.
Right.
It tells you that people come back. Depending upon what level of intellect you are at the time that you transition will determine if you come back. Now, because we're here now, it says that we have come back many times in different lifetimes as different beings, as male, female, Caucasian, Nubian, whatever you want to be. We all, because that's how we can identify with other people, because that's all part of who we are as far as a spiritual being. The only thing is that the body is a vehicle that's used by the essence of who we are. When we say spirit, you go back and look at the word spirit. All the word spirit means is breath, wind, air. That's what it means. It has nothing to do with anything that they want you to think it is. Okay, a lot of things that I do is that I do a lot of research, and especially with words. And what I find that, especially going back to the Bible for a quick second, when one guy I was talking to and I was saying things to him, he got so mad at me. He said to me, "You're going to go to hell." And I said to him, "Okay, fine." I said, "But which one?" "What do you mean, which one?" I said, "Well, because in your Bible, there are 4 different places called hell, and each one is different. So which one am I going to?" He didn't believe. No, it's not. I said, "Look up the word Sheol in the Hebrew. Then go to the New Testament, look up the word Hades, look up the word Pataru, and look up the word Gehenna. What you will see is that each one of those words in English says hell, and each one is a different place. It's not the thing that you think it is. Same as when you see the word world in the New Testament and the Old Testament. It's not talking about the planet. You got to think about this. When Noah was building the ark, right? And his job was to tell the world the flood was coming, right? Let's look at it from a realistic point of view. Let's say you're in Georgia. I'm here in Arizona. We're going back to Noah's time. How in the hell did you tell me here in Arizona that you were building the ark and it was going to rain and God was going to kill everybody? How would I know that? From your like from Noah's standpoint, who went all the way around the world to tell everybody, if they knew anything about the world, that this was going to happen? Nobody. They did. It's not sensible. Same as when you say the end of the world. That word "world," when you look it up, it's talking about the end of the age, or it's talking about a land, or it's talking about a province. It doesn't mean what people are told. It's going to be the end of the world. No, because tell me one disciple that knew about Australia, that knew about Japan, that knew about China. Which one of them knew about these places? Because they didn't. And the thing too that I asked this question, what really pissed them off, I said that during the time that the children of Israel was in captivity to Egypt for 430 years, where was God? Okay, and the question was, how did God reveal himself to the people of the world that wasn't the Israelites? How did he reveal himself to the people in China? He couldn't say my name is Yahweh because they don't speak Hebrew. You couldn't tell the people in Australia that I'm Yahweh. You can't tell the people in India that I'm Yah. How did you, God, reveal yourself to the rest of the people of the world during these times? There's nothing written there. So one person said that 95% of your Bible is only talking about the Israelites, nobody else. I don't see the word China in there. I don't see the word Japan in there. I don't see the word South America. I don't see the word Haiti. I don't see no other lands in there, but those little like Greece and Rome, you might see that. But anywhere else in the world, what does it talk about? Nothing. It's only talking about this particular group of people during their time period over a couple of thousand years. And when you ask them, well, how long after the resurrection of Jesus did the disciples write the books? They didn't write the books till like 30, 40, 50 years later. I can't remember what I did last week, let alone 50, 30, 40 years ago. I can't remember the shit what happened 30 years ago. But they're writing stuff that happened. And then during their time period, the writings of Paul were written before the Gospels. But the way that is set up is that when you see Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, after they've seen all the books, you're thinking that's the order they came in. That's not the order. The order was Paul's stuff came first. And for those 30 years or 40 years before Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John wrote anything, it was Paul writing. Paul had all this shit. And it says Paul was sent to the Gentiles. The Bible says that the reason why Paul went to the Gentiles is that when he started preaching to the Jews and they didn't want to hear the shit he was saying, he said, well, because you all don't want to hear me, lo, we turn to the Gentiles. In other words, it was his decision to go to the Gentiles with information. And when the Gentiles got it to say, well, if we're going to do this here stuff, that means we've got to become Jews because everything that was taught was under the Jewish thing. So they changed everything around to suit them as what they so-called Christians, which Jesus was never a Christian. If you follow Jesus, then how can you be a Christian when he was a Jew?
No. Hold on, man. Family, like I said, this brother here is a phenomenal brother. And, what's so interesting is, somebody asked a question, how do you keep the items you purchase charged up? I guess charged up. How do you charge up your items, the Orgone energy?
You don't. Orgone is a constant energy. Orgone is a constant energy. It never needs charging. What some people like to do is put it out in the sun. That's fine, but it's not necessary. It's an intelligent energy because what it can do, it can be programmed for whatever your need or whatever you think it might be for. That's what can happen with it. So it never needs any charging because it stays charged. From the time that we make it and create it, that thing is charged forever. And the type of way that we use it is we go back to the person, Wilhelm Reich. Wilhelm Reich was the one that brought this into existence. And what we do is we mimic what he did with the Orgone before others got into it and started putting crystals and things in it, which is fine. But we stick with the old-fashioned way, the way that Wilhelm Reich did it, in creating our product. I got a book of his that someone gifted me a long time ago and explains how he made it. And that's what I do. That's what we do here. We mimic that.
Now, family, make sure you can contact them via the IG. Of course, the IG is on here. Okay, great. Thank you. Yes, Miss Z. That's right. You got that. You got that answer. Also, go to their IG. You can contact both of them. Answer their IG. Believe me, when I contact them, I sometimes don't even contact them by phone. You go to their IG. I'll text them via IG, and all I say is seen. They've seen it. I say, okay, good. They've seen it. Somebody just asked me about Delbert Blair's books. If you want to purchase any of Delbert Blair's publications, he was a griot, so they transliterated or they transcribed his words into 4 books online right now. So if you want to do that, That is the website you can go to, the metacenter2.com or the metacenterchicago.com. Also, they have an event later on which is like an hour behind. They got an event going on that's going to be doing a tribute to Dr. Blair on his website also. So make sure you go to that. Big up to Brother Tony, who I'm going to have to get in. So I see he's coming out and talking more. So that was his right-hand man over there at the Chicago Meta Center. So I'm going to call him and see if I can get an interview with him in the next couple of weeks and talk to him, because I've purchased books. I purchased books wholesale from him. And of course, Dr. Blair used to give me a whole lot of stuff because I was the last to bring him into New York before he transitioned. So that was, and I guess I've been having a lot of that, with different people, So, Dr. Africa, I was the last to bring him into town before he transitioned. So it gets crazy with me. So, try not to come in town by me carrying you in, because you might be the last. You might be the last time you come in seeing me. You know what I'm saying?
Well, what's funny is that before Dr. Blair transitioned, he had contacted me about putting Orgone energy from me. He wanted to get it from me to put on into his thing, but that didn't happen because he transitioned before that. But there's a picture of him with the Orgone pyramid on his desk that I gifted him.
That's right.
That he really, really liked. So he wanted me to do, because he really, really was into Orgone energy. Dr. Blair knew about Orgone. He knew what it can do, and so he was contacting me about making it for him. But we never got that far until his transition.
Well, Baba, you gave me this years ago.
That's been a while.
I have it right near my computer, right here behind my computers, right around my computer, and I got the jade. I got the jade, the jade Buddha on my up here too. So jade is up there.
Okay. You know what? When you ask about the angel numbers,
yes.
Okay, like you're talking about the 111, the 222, the 333.
Exactly.
Okay, I contacted my person today. I can get the numbers,
right?
But as far as the description, I can't get that. They don't have that. But they have. I can make them. I can make anything in the pyramid. I can put whatever numbers you want on there.
Well, I can do that. We're gonna talk about that, because if I do the business with you, then I will just have the inscription like in it as a package, so they'll know what it means from both angles. So
okay,
I got that all in my head. That's like bop 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 bop. So
okay,
that's
bop, bop, bop,
okay. Any questions in the chat before we let our brother go? Kafunya's in the building. Kafunya, y'all need to bring him to Nicholas. He hasn't bring the Nicholas in years. I haven't, and he was in the old Nicholas. That matter of fact, hold on one second. Let me just show some of the old Nicholas before we get off of here. Before I have you with the last closing words, Brother Jerry. Let me just say what you got to say on when you was at Nicholas. Hold on one second. I want to make sure people know that Brother Jerry been with us for a long time, family. Here's one of the lectures that he did with us at Nicholas back in the day. Let me open it up wider right now. This is one of the, so listen very carefully.
That was that Brickbullet.
No, this is at National Black Theater, right? This is at National Black Theater. This is what we did with Dr. Blair.
Yeah.
Right. Hold on.
Enemy, and they will fight to stay attached to this machine.
It's kind of low.
This type of system. There are those who today will turn in their mother for a few dollars. Paper. Another thing too, while we're on the subject of paper, if any of you are going to sell your old gold, give it to me first. Because there's no such thing as old gold. But when they dig it out of the ground, it's already old. So it's all part of a scheme to get you to give up your gold, your precious metal, which ain't that much, 14 karat, but it's still precious for paper. So don't sell old gold. Keep it, because you're going to need it one day. You might get a little bit hungry, you go to the store and says, right, that paper don't mean that you got any gold. Yeah, well, here's the whole chain. Give me my food. So keep that in mind, all right? So it's all part of being plugged in to a matrix, a system. And that's, again, going back to meditation. You've got to go back to that. That's the ground floor for anything that you want to excel in spiritually, psychically, and in the abilities. All right? Now, I don't know how much time I got left on this thing, but we got some things I want to introduce some of you to. Some of you already seen it. Oh, by the way, any questions or what I just finished? You had questions, man.
But we're gonna get into that. I don't want to get too deep into that, so let me take that down. But question and answers at the National Black Theater one time, and I was showing it, but I think I dropped it. I dropped the Nicholas thing link that I had. But Jerry, before we close out, my brother, I want you to tell the people the balance of what's going on and what they should prepare for, what they should not even have to worry about. They need to be balanced, because some people will give us all the gloom and the doom, but they don't realize that, you know, we ain't getting out of here alive anyway. So we gotta balance this out. What is it that the last word that you think we have to offer? If you channel right now, if you channel what we is saying, what would they tell us right now from a balanced perspective, both the doom and gloom and the positive of it, please?
The thing is this: the one thing that we were always taught and has always told us is unity. Unity is the key, because the divide and conquer game is in full effect. The Willie Lynch letter is in full effect, and the doom and gloom is nothing you can do about what's going to be coming anyway. Like you said, like the song says, the game of life is hard to play. You're going to lose it anyway. You know, so it's nothing about that. So, but what you have to look at and pay attention to is that I did a video called "What If," and just as a source of preparation, you should be prepared for anything or unexpected things that's going to happen. Now, again, I'm not talking doom and gloom, but there are those people out there, especially a lot of the Caucasians who are out there who are stocking up on food and other things that you might need, because it doesn't necessarily have to be anything that you like. For instance, let's say if there's a storm and the lights go out and the power's gone, what do? Mm-hmm. You know, do you sit in the dark? You try to find a candle or flashlight? Mm-hmm. I have flashlights that are solar powered. I'm not going to depend upon batteries. I have solar powered flashlights. I have a thing where you can make water. You follow, where you can make your own water. You don't have to depend upon water. I have one of those little portable gas stoves where if the power goes out and there's no gas or anything, you can still do things. So think ahead. You know, another thing too, that I keep my car gas tank full. Anytime that I get down below or by a quarter of a tank, I'm filling back up again. I'm not going to wait for it to go to half a tank or 3/4 of a tank down. As soon as it gets up to that quarter of a tank thing, I'm putting that back in. Also, if you live in a house and you have electricity, and if you have to get out of there, let's say the power's out and your garage door is run by electricity, learn how to open that door without electricity. Because if your wife is home alone with the children and you can't get there and she can't get the garage door open, is she going to drive the car through the garage door? Or do you teach her how to operate it where it can be done manually? Okay. Also, any paperwork that you have that's important, put it in a safe place. Just in case I have a safe here in the house, but fireproof. All my important papers I got in there just in case. Not saying something's going to happen, but if it did, I know where everything is, and all I gotta do is grab that one case, all my paperwork's in there, and I'm ready to go. So the thing is that, you know, like Gil Scott said, time is right up on us now, brother. And this ain't no time for us to be arguing now. We have to put aside our differences, put aside our indiscretions of one another, and come together as one. Malcolm taught that. Elijah Muhammad taught that. All of the men that came before these men and everyone else taught the fact that unity is the key. You have to unite with those like-minded people in order for you to move on to the next level. And what you can do with those like-minded people, start having meditation circles. Start to meditate. Pick a particular time every day at the same time and meditate.
You know, hold on, Jerry, you said something key, because somebody just asked the question, pardon to break your stride, but somebody just asked a question: what are some ways to introduce true spirituality to the youth?
That's a very good question. The thing is that the first thing you have to do is show them the lies that they've been told. You follow? Because everybody that comes out is not telling you the truth. So you have to look at them and find out where they are, on what level that they are, and what they have been taught to believe. And then you take away the belief and give them the knowing. Stop believing shit people tell you and know it. And another thing that they should do, the youth, question everything and everybody, no matter what it is. I don't care if it's a intelligent question or if it's unintelligent question, no matter what question, you are allowed to question anybody that stands in front of you. I don't care who it is, whether it's your preacher, teacher, mom, dad, whatever. If they don't want to be questioned, don't trust them. Because if they're going to be honest, if they're going to be open, if they're going to be truthful, then they would want you to question. And sometimes the questions from young people are difficult, but the fact of the matter is you have to start to question everything and everybody. Don't let someone not let you question them. If they don't want to be questioned, then walk out, because that's telling you that they don't want you to know something. And that's the key. Question. That's how you do it, especially you young people out there, because you're being bombarded with a whole lot of stuff. And what's being done is that, remember this fact, whoever wins the wars writes the books. So now they're changing the books to erase you out of it. They're taking people of color out of the books and rearranging that. I had someone inbox me and tell me that I need to forget about the past and forget about slavery because all that stuff is not me. It doesn't mean anything now. We're in it now. I said, okay, fine. I will forget slavery. I will totally forget slavery when the Jews forget the Holocaust. That's when I'll forget slavery. When the Jews forget the Holocaust and they stood out there trying to find people that was during that time period, I will forget slavery wholeheartedly. I will totally put it behind me and never mention it again. So tell the Jews to forget the Holocaust and forgive Hitler and everything else, all the other shit that was done. And I will forget slavery and forgive all the Caucasians and the shit that they hung the people on. I'll forget all that and give it to them. So let's make that deal. So until that happens, guess what? Slavery is a forefront in my book.
Powerful, powerful. Thank you very much, Brother Jerry, for giving. Hold on one second. I have my applause. What my applause button? My applause button went crazy now. No, my applause button went crazy. I don't know what happened to it. I just had it here. I don't know what happened. My goodness, this is how technology gets sometimes. I wanted to give him a well-deserved round of applause, but it just did not happen just the way I wanted it. But it is what it is. I see. But I got, that means I got to do it all over. So my bro, oh, now I see what happened. I turned it down. That's why. That's funny. I turned it down because I was broadcasting through the speakers earlier. But but thank you very much, my brother Jerry. Here it is. I think it is. Here we go.
Thank you. I appreciate you, man.
I appreciate you all the time. I appreciate you. And please give my hugs and love to your wife and sister Sandra, who I've known.
We'll do that. No problem. No problem. Thanks a lot, man. I appreciate you getting me on, man. Yeah, it's good to talk to you. It's good to see you, yes. And I really appreciate everything that you do, man. You're doing good work. And the thing too for you is that this is going to be a banner year for you.
Yes, it is.
It's going to be a banner year for you, man. Yes, there's a lot of things coming your way that's going to take you to a whole nother level. And don't be surprised if they come to you and ask you to be in some theater or some movie type thing.
You know, Brother Jerry, what's so interesting is that someone mentioned that. I'm not going to say any names. Somebody already said that. And I'm glad you are tapped in. I'm going to be producing plays like they used to do in pantomime in Jamaica back in the day. But it's going to be with the lecture and everything in it. So we're going to have to talk, because I'm going to be doing something out here in some venues, and Black-owned venues in Atlanta, if you want to come out and do something, and we got to talk about that. But somebody mentioned that already. Definitely. Somebody inviting me to do that, and they're connected to a big celebrity from the past, a Black celebrity that's into the consciousness now if they're in their head. So I'm liking that. So yeah, somebody mentioned that, but I ain't gonna
confirmation.
Say
that's just confirmation.
Just confirmation. Yeah, I'm not, and I talked to them like a couple of weeks ago, and they already wanted to do something. And I already was featured on Brother Billy Carson's thing, and they really love what I'm doing out there. So, but you're absolutely right. I'm going for it. But you know what's so funny, Brother Jerry? You know, back in the day, I wasn't one that was able to. I was telling Chunky this. You remember Khalil from Force and Peace? Yeah. I was telling Chunky, me and him was talking, and I said, you know, back in the day, I wasn't a big money maker. I wasn't out there making that $100. I'll make this amount, then make this amount, and turn in this and all that kind of stuff. That's why they put me in a restaurant. But it's always interesting how the last will become the first, and the first will become the last. You know what I'm saying? That whole, and that's just how it worked out. And I told him it's so ironic that we had to turn in $100 a day in that Ansar Allah community, and now I make more. And now I make more than $100 every half an hour. You know what I'm saying? I said, he started laughing. He said, "Yo, that's deep." I mean, that's what I charge for my session. So you know, it is what it is. Yo, but that's how much I charge for my session. So it is what it is. You know, and I'm glad that I was introduced to you at a young age. Family, he gave me my shahada back in the day in 1984. This man right here.
You and 1,000 others.
And 1,000.
I gave over thousands of shahadas.
But I remember, because I'm here, and I know most of them won't even tell you that on air, but I'm going to tell you, brother, thank you very much for doing that and allowing me to come into that space at the Tents of Kedar back in the day and talk to you and Brother Dawood back in the day. And of course, you know, all the teachers that came through, man, thank you very much. And when I did finally linked up with you, what did I do? I put you right in front of Dr. Blair. Then from Dr. Blair, we went to Nicholas, because I know who you were. I know the energy. I remember my ex-wife telling me, my former wife telling me, you know, Brother Ali is dealing with crystals and all. I'm like, what? Get the hell out of here. Taslim. She told me that. I said, what? I need to find it. And I couldn't find you for at least a good 5 years. 5 years. And wow. All of a sudden we connected and linked, and rest is history, brother. We made history on that with the Delbert Blair lecture. It was a packed house that day. You did you tuned in and tapped in and did some nice spiritual work for the audience and all that. And do you remember what you told me when I was emceeing that show? And then you said, you know, you seen a lot of arrows coming my way, but my energy kept on blocking those arrows back in the day. You remember that?
Wow, no, I don't remember that, man.
You told me that you could see, like, imagine like spiritual arrows trying to go. People didn't, some people like me, some people don't. Yeah, it is what it is. They was throwing spiritual arrows at me, but my energy, you told me the energy kept on blocking all those arrows that kept on trying to come as I was emceeing, about to bring on Delbert Blair, because he was watching from the side, but you kept on seeing these arrows coming towards me. You know, hate. You know, people hated me. You know. It is what it is. People
and he's still out there hating.
Oh yeah, they hate me for my smile. People hate that I smile a lot. I'm like, really? And I got my teeth. I got all my teeth, and you hate me for my smile? Really? That's what we do. Jerry, I love you, man, and there's nothing you can do about it, brother. I appreciate you, man, and take care, man. All right.
I appreciate you as well, man. I bless you, man. You're a good man.
You too, man. Thank you, man. Thank you.
All right.
All right. Please.
We'll talk again.
All right. We'll talk. I'll talk to you after later. All right. Peace. All right. That's our brother Jerry Miller once again. Woo, man. No better person to have to salute Dr. Blair, but I'm going to throw on one more lecture with Dr. Blair. I'm going to find it right now before we close out, because this has been an official tribute with one of the great metaphysics teachers that I've known for years, and I'm honored to have known him for many years, and he definitely helped me along the way, you know, and I want to make sure that we get to touch on some Dr. Blair real quick before I go. And you know, because Dr. Blair really meant a lot to us. He would have been 91 years today. He would have been 91 years old today. And Dr. Blair always says there is no truth until you decide what truth is. That is the truth. There is no truth until you decide what truth is. Do you know the truth? Do you know where you're going? Have you decided what type of truth it is that you are looking for at the end of the day? Do you know what it is that you want out of your life from a metaphysical perspective and to a higher level perspective? What do you want out of your life, my brothers and sisters? Because Dr. Blair has taught us so much. And before we close out, I want to make sure that we support Dr. Blair in whatever he's doing and however he's doing it, and making sure that we got it. Here's Dr. Blair real quick. I'm going to close out with Dr. Blair. Going to share one of you, the younger Dr. Blair back in the day. Check this out.
Make sure that I don't leave out something. I'm sure that there will be some interaction between us at the end of tonight. It will probably keep us here all night if we can stay here. Since we can't, I'd say pick your best shot and give it. And hopefully this would not be the end of this. Usually in a course that's extensive and having covered so much as this course has, there's a review course where we meet one more time to go over the entire thing. This way, being able to present more intelligently our questions, our answers, our interchanging and interfacing. But that's going to be kind of difficult to go because of the mileage that is from where I stay as a home base and where you stay as a home base. I am hopefully positive, that's what you call really affirming it, that you will not lose sight and contact with each other. It is my hope that you will create a chapter of what is called the Meta Center here, or if you don't choose to do that, that you would at least stay together in some kind of way significantly by keeping in touch. The kind of information, as I stated last week, that you've been exposed to, I didn't say learned, I said you've been exposed to. I didn't say accepted, I said be exposed to. It's such that will generally put you in bad stead with your normal friends, relatives, acquaintances, relations, and so on and so forth. Or if you begin to open your mouth and told the truth, they tell you to shut your mouth quickly because they wouldn't want to hear that. So you've got to have somebody to talk to and to continue research. And I state that I'm pretty sure that the information you've been exposed to here, when you see the newspapers and the periodicals, when you see the so-called scandal sheets, and almost the daily newspapers are becoming scandal sheets, you will begin to be able to tie in factually information that you've researched and found the truth with, where others will only be skeptically or frighteningly looking at it and saying, what in the world is going on? You may say the same thing, but you'll know what is going on. And hopefully you make arrangements and provisions to begin to try to adapt to either this new world order or to stay afloat with the old world order. Based on last week and with the kind of things I'm upfronted and confronted and associated with in Chicago and what we covered here, it gets kind of humorous to me because there are people who have finished the course many years ago that are now coming back around to our organization. When we met Tuesday, we had 15 people that came and dropped out of the clear blue sky, literally or figuratively, I'll let you decide. But nevertheless, these were people who had taken classes with me way back in 71 and 70, and something is motivating them now to come back around. We have our spiritual circles that we have, and we try to help each other in our endeavors because of the wisdom we feel we have. And since we know we don't have it all, we're always out there with scouts trying to find what is the latest in a particular vein. We've covered here some 48 subjects, believe it or not, and that's not counting your Black History course, which many of you were in. And each of those subjects is different from the approach that we took, which means that there are 48 different things in life that many people, outside of those who already belong to so-called secret societies, are looking at one way that you won't. So I sincerely hope we will not waste that. There is a 10-week course that I have that the group offers. It's research because in many cases, we would bring in those practitioners within our own group that are good at that particular thing and have them to teach that to you or to demonstrate to you how it's done. I don't know that we can pull that off here. Again,
we'd have to have a minimum to make it anywhere worthwhile of 20 people. I don't even know if we have 20 people who haven't finished this course. I really don't. As I say, if you are interested in that, kind of let me know by either voice vote or hand vote before I leave tonight that you'd be interested in continuing with this course. What is bad about that is that this particular course, for any new people coming in, would leave them pretty much shaken. It would give them information that they could do more harm than good to themselves with without having had the base that you have. So there's not too many people I can pull from to even get new numbers in. And the course usually goes, again, by monetary fashion for $155, and we did put it at one time for $250. But I'm saying again, when offered as a concatenation of what you already gone through, to be $155 for the 10 weeks. It would include a look at hypnotism and self-hypnotism, quick ways to hypnotize and to gain mental control. We'll take a look at manipulating the electromagnetic field by crystals or by magnets that can be placed in various places that a person wouldn't even realize, and they'd be affected by you by that, which may come in better than sometimes a gun would do if you know how to manipulate and use that. It would take a look at the energy articulation, where you begin to look at that light and accumulate things, how you can begin to see how you could affect objects at distances by using that, and how some animals will respond to it once you get their frequency, and it teaches you how to get frequencies. It shows you again the various arts of massage and touch, nerves, central nerves of the body, where by touching it you can paralyze a person, or by putting light rays on it you can confuse a person. Also, again, how you can use that to begin to heal. Anything that has good has a bad quality for it. Series there of teaching you crystals and the usage of crystals, the proper, hopefully, usage of crystals, and combining crystals with magnets to begin to cure water when you can't get to things that can purify water, to begin to help to heal when you won't be able to get hold of medicines and things like this, especially if you can put the person first into at least a alpha stage of hypnosis so that these things will take. Also pre-programming, so that whatever you come up against in mental or mind control, you already are pre-programmed, and it will take a pretty good sophisticated, which believe.
You know, before I close out, I have to say this. Dr. Blair was a very, very, very special human being. Today, he would have been 91 years of age. And he used to guide us in meditation for the Golden Sun meditation. He used to do that with us. And my spirit is definitely calling to do a meditation circle. As I was listening to him and he's talking about hypnotism and all that, hypnosis is what got me, or allowed me or helped me to get even down here to Georgia when I was all confused about my move. It was either North Carolina, Georgia, Florida. And then I did some hypnotherapy with Kendall Cobb, who has been doing hypnosis for 26 years. You can go to hypnosiswithkendall.com. That's hypnosiswithkendall.com. Dr. Blair was an advocate of hypnotherapy. Without a doubt, he loved to deal with the mind. He also dealt with magnets. Dr. Blair also dealt with magnets. He was a component for magnet therapy also. So I'm going to meditate on it, about doing a online and offline meditation circle like Dr. Blair used to do. But I do send people to the website because Brother Tony and his staff has kept it going. So make sure y'all go to the website, themetacenter2.com, and that's in Chicago. And they're doing online work too. I want 2 men and 2 women, myself, another brother, and another woman, to proudly facilitate the meditation circle. So I'm going to be looking for those who have their different types of meditation. I will come from a numerovational perspective, how to use your numbers to meditate on the interpretation of the numbers. So if you're born under the master number 11 or 22, or you're born on the 1 all the way to 31, each one of them have one word that you can meditate on and actually bring that energy towards you. It could take one day, it could take 1 week, it could take 1 month, but it's all about the law of attraction energy that you want to draw towards you in this meditation. So I think that would be a good ideal to do. I think that would be a very good ideal to do, is to do the meditation and allow people to resonate with their own multiplicity of numerological guidance that you have, because it's not just the month that you're born. It's not just the day that you're born. It's not just the year that you're born. It's also in the names. Because if we, as the numerovators or the numerologist, teaches that in the name you find the expression, the inner urge, the outer urge, and you find the gifts, talents, and skills in the names. And in your birthday, you find the lessons that we go through in life. That's why there is a life path. And in the name, they call it destiny number. Then there must be a way that we can tap in, like Dr. Blair taught us, through meditation. And if you resonate with that meditation and you resonate with your individual frequency, that can unite you with the macrocosmic frequency. Because the microcosmic frequency of guidance is what numbers you are connected to, that is here to help you to navigate to be the better you. So when we used to conduct the meditation circle with Dr. Blair at Nicholas, Brooklyn, at the National Black Theater, at the Marcus Garvey Center, at the Airbnb that I rented out for him in the last 10 years before he transitioned, that I worked with him. This is all coming through me to say what I'm saying to you right now, is that I'm going to meditate on doing this meditation circle. And when I come back to New York, the weekend of April the 14th and the 15th, I'm going to do the meditation circle from a numerovational perspective of every number from 1 to 31, because everybody on this planet is born from either the 1st all the way to the 31st of the month. And I'm going to run it. And I'll have, if Sister Kafunya is there, I'll have her do the sound bowls while I'm running it. Spiritual music and drumming. If Raphael is there, they can play the drums while I'm running it. We're going to record it live right there at Nicholas, because Dr. Blair brought it to Nicholas right downtown Brooklyn back in the day. And I think that's going to be a profound day on that weekend of April. It's going to be a profound day. So Kafunya, make sure you lock me in for that Saturday, April the 14th, I believe. Let me look on my calendar. Yes, I still have a calendar. April the 14th, or I think it's April the 13th. No, April the 13th. That's Saturday, April the 13th. Very good number for me. That's one of my power numbers. That's Saturday, April the 13th. So tell her to lock me in for Saturday, April the 13th. Or I can probably do April the 20th. I'd rather the 13th, though, but because my mother's birthday is on the 21st, and I want to make sure I spend time with her. Yes, Uniquely Wired. What's up, girl? Yes, 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 yes. I'll be there. I'll be there. Just call my name. Just call my number. Just call my astro number. I'll be there. Family, on that note, I'm going to get on out of here. Oh yeah. Nicholas, is your anniversary on the 20th? Oh yeah. So we better do it on the 13th then instead of doing it on the 20th. My mother's birthday is the 21st. So I'll be in town from that weekend from the 13th all the way until the 21st, 22nd of the month. Then I'm out of there. But I definitely will be in town for my mother's birthday. So yes. So if you feel that would be a very good live and international thing, just put the number 1 in the chat if you feel that you can make it to Brooklyn, New York, where we're going to stimulate Dr. Blair's energy. We're going to stimulate Dr. Blair's energy. We're going to stimulate Dr. Blair's energy. We're going to stimulate Dr. Blair's energy because Dr. Blair was that person. And want to say happy cosmic birthday to him, and please support his legacy workshop, his legacy website right there on the screen. Please support it. Support his legacy workshop, his website on the screen. Support Brother Tony and whatever he's doing. Go to the metacenter2.com or the metacenterchicago.com. That's metacenter2.com or metacenterchicago.com. My family, it's been a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful day. I want to thank again Brother Jerry Miller. Make sure you support Jerry Miller at his IG page at Jerry Miller 940, and his wife is at Sandra Fraser 777. Make sure you contact them for whatever orgone piece that you want, Orgonite piece. Also, that's his Cashapp, that's his PayPal, that's his Facebook right there. We need to bring Jerry in. Need to just bring Jerry into town and let's see what happens there. And once again, thank you very, very, very much for being a part of this journey that I've decided to do. And whatever journey that you're on, make sure you do it to the highest and wisest and vibratory level that you can do it at. Remember, I am a part of the conscientious community, not the conscious community. I'm changing that word now. Conscientious, because now we can look up the word. It's not just being conscious of and aware of your surroundings and all that. Like I said, a rat, a roach, a bee, a spider is conscious of their and being aware of their society and their surroundings, especially in their own programming. But I want to be conscientious, because conscientious means wishing to do what is right in our community. The conscientious community. Who wants to join the conscientious community? Because the conscientious community is not just a bunch of talk. It's a bunch of doers. Because like Les Brown used to say, wannabes don't make any honeys. Wannabes don't make honey. It's the doer bees that make honey. Wannabes don't make honey. And I am conscientious, wishing to do right in your mind first, and then your behind will follow. That's why I do numerovation, because I want you to mentally understand and spiritually understand that your mathematics connected to you is a guiding apparatus, but the first guide is you. Your spirit guide, your intuition, your gut feelings. That is the first guide. Numbers and astrology and all these things are navigational tools to help you to confirm what you need to do when you already knew it was in you. That's all. That's all. And I do it with a smile. Believe me, I do it with a smile. I like to do it with a smile. Last but not least, let me close out with this saying by Frantz Fanon. Let me close out with this saying by Frantz Fanon. Because my track record is good. I don't care who came out of it. I don't care if I've dealt with Dr. York. I don't care what y'all think about him. I don't care what you think about Polite. And I've used to promote him. Out of those two people, I've done hundreds of other people. So I can't be judged by those two people that may be locked up for whatever people saying they locked up or whatever the DNA is saying, whatever it's saying. I have a track record of bringing some of the most conscious metaphysics and help people. And that outweighs the two quote unquote, so-called bad apples. That outweighs all of that. So I have my name is solidified on those streets. My name is solidified. And like Franz Fanon says, each generation has to identify its mission and decide whether they will accept it or betray it. I've proven myself over the years. I don't want nobody to follow me. I ain't got no time for people following me. I leave that to people that want to be leaders. I want you to be your own leader, and I want you to understand that that leadership quality that each and every one of you have needs to tap into the universal order of things to make you be better. So whoever you connect with, understand that you're a leader, what you do, I'm a leader, what I do, and that person's a leader, what they do, and then we could come together to lead the way on unifying on a micro level so we can make the macro level much more happier, because we want that universal creative force, that divine mother and father, to be happy within us. That's what I'm about. I don't know what you're about, but that's what I'm about. Keep on, keep on, yeah. Skies is the limit, and you know the truth. Keep on, just keep on pressing on. Sky is the limit, and you know the truth. Have what you want, feel what you want. Sky is the limit, and you know the truth. Keep on, let's keep on pressing. Sky's the limits. The universe is the limits, to tell you the truth. The universe is the limits. And actually, there ain't no limits. There is no limits to what you can accomplish in your own way, family. There's no limits. Be a part of the conscientious community. Not the conscious community. The conscious community arguing with each other and debating, and I ain't got no time for that. Conscientious community means that you could be a part of whatever religious way and whatever spiritual way, but if you're doing right and wishing to do right, what is right for your community, then you are a part of that conscientious community. All right? On that note, family, I'd like to close out with Dr. Delbert Blair's prayers, if you don't mind. I'd like to close out with Dr. Delbert Blair's prayers, if you don't mind. Remember, go to his website, the metacenter2.com. That's the Metacenter 2. Let's say the prayer together if we can. Let's say the prayer together. Take a deep breath. Like Dr. Blair would tell us, take a deep breath. Inhale through your nose. Exhale through your mouth. Inhale through your nose. Exhale through your mouth. One more time. Inhale through your nose. Exhale through your mouth. Please, universal creator, know in my heart that I love you. Please protect me and this planet on which I live now. Please open my mind, my spirit, and my soul to receive only truth in your love now. My dear family, thank you very much once again for tuning in and locking in. All of us that came in and out, share this with other people, share this live with other people. Instagram, Facebook, wherever you are, whatever you may be watching us, thank y'all very much. And once again, we want to thank Brother Jerry Miller for coming on and showing his love. And I want to thank each and every one of you for being the very best of you and who you are, no matter where you are in life. Always remember, no matter what you're going through, no matter where you are in life, every day that you wake back up in this realm, Because life is but a dream. Every day that you wake up back in this realm. Because life is but a dream. Every day that you wake up back in this realm, you can always rewrite your testimonials. So please, like Dr. B. Sirius says, I forgive myself, my family, and others for imperfection. And I am thankful for my life. Be thankful. Be thankful for your life. Be thankful. Be grateful for where you are, but never be satisfied. Brother Bob Proctor, Dr. Bob Proctor said that. Be grateful for where you are, but never be satisfied. Have a great day, afternoon, or evening, whatever time you may tune in this to us. All right? Peace and love. Take care. Content disclaimer. The views, comments, and opinions expressed by guest speakers or authors on this YouTube channel do not necessarily reflect or represent the views and opinions held by this channel's broadcasters and its sponsors. Parental guidance is advised. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of Copyright Act of 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comments, news reporting, teachers, scholarship, education, and research. For fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringed. Hey, this is King Simon, the International Numerovator. Remember, get all my books on Amazon or go to Linktr.ee/King Simon, the Numerovator. And remember, don't forget to book my sessions at 347-496-1022. Book now.
Eye to eye, heart to heart, each one teach one us. This is Professor Imhotep, the Island Monk, here at Warrior Kido Jiu-Jitsu, Way of the Warrior Spirit. So we're here to go over the rules and try to make that as swift as possible for you guys. So the rules essentially are very few. Number one is to follow us on TikTok at the Island Monk, or if you have Instagram, you can follow us at Warrior Temple, Island University. Or if you really love us and want to show us support, you can follow us at both. You're going to find the Kata Shodachi, and you're either going to duet us on TikTok or collab with us on Instagram and win 10 tickets for every additional video you do beyond that. So as we say with all the warriors, eye to eye, heart to heart, each one teach one, us.
This is King Simon. Remember, make sure you go to my website, kingsimonproductions.wordpress.com. That's kingsimonproductions.wordpress.com, or Linktree at King Simon the Numerovator. Get all 4 of my books, and of course, that's the Numerovation for Mental Stability. Numbers are simple, people are complicated. Numbers are simple, children's health is important, and no promotion is bad promotion. Just spell my name right. Make sure you get them now on all my links. That's kingsimonproductions.wordpress.com. Go now. Some people think that this esoteric knowledge is for the rich and powerful, when in actuality, the so-called 85% has a spark in them that if it is sparked through numerology, astrology, motivation, whatever, it will raise them up from an 85%, maybe to a 10%, and eventually they become the 5%. Or prosperous, righteous teachers. We gotta understand that this knowledge is not just for one class of people. We gotta get out of the class.